If you've been running OpenClaw on your VPS, you've probably hit the same wall that I have. It forgets everything, every session is a fresh start, and every workflow you taught it just disappears. Every bit of context about your business has been wiped the moment you close or end your chat. But that's exactly why I moved my whole setup over to Hermes Agent. I still use the same Hostinger VPS with its one-click deployment, but now my AI agent actually learns. It builds skills as you use it, remembers past conversations, and gets sharper over time. So in this video, I'll show you how to deploy Hermes Agent on your own Hostinger VPS in minutes, even if you've never touched a terminal before. We're going to connect it to Telegram so you can chat with it from your phone, and we're going to automate a real daily task before the end. I'm Sen from AI Academy. Let's get into it. Okay, first of all, here's why your AI agent needs to live on a VPS. AI agents are only as useful as where they live. When you run them locally, then they're fragile because your laptop, if it goes to sleep, then it means that your agent will also go offline and forget everything. However, even though moving to a VPS fixes the reliability, it doesn't fix the memory problem. OpenClaw and most other agents still treat every conversation like it's its first one. But with Hermes agents, things are different. It has a learning loop, so every task completes gets refined into a reusable skill. So the more you use it, the more specialized it becomes to how you work. And the reason I'm using Hostinger is that they built a Docker template specifically for Hermes. One click and you've got a production-ready agent environment where you don't need any special files, Docker expertise, or manual setup. And because it runs on your own VPS, your API keys and your conversation history, all of it stays on your infrastructure and server. And that's why the first step is to pick your Hostinger plan. Use the Hostinger link down below because it takes you to the Hermes Agent landing page with the best pricing locked in. Plus, if you use our code at checkout, you get an extra 10% off. Okay, so once you're in, you can quite see that the agent page, and we're pretty much going to go through the details, and we're going to see over here we've got a bunch of different plans. I go with the KVM2 plan because it has enough just data and information that we can all use, as you can see here, and it's only $8.99 every month. So click deploy and then just wait for it to load up the next page. So once you get sent to cart, this is where you want to enter in your payment details. You can also select the time period that you want as well. Again, for this discount to be applied, it needs to be within the 24-month or the 1-year plan detail. I leave daily auto backup, I don't select that at all. And then for server location, I usually choose somewhere like US or anywhere like that. Okay, but a quick note on why this plan is the right pick for you. There's 4 things that make this plan worth it. First, there's zero setup. The Docker template handles everything out of the box. Second, there's no per agent fees, so you can run as many agents as your VPS resources allow without paying extra. And then third, there's enough compute power to run multi-agent setups, so you can have long-running research tasks or just heavier workflows without any throttling. Also, fourth, there's built-in security. On first install, Hostinger auto-generates a high-complexity gateway key, so your agent is locked down from the start. Okay, now let's deploy the Hermes template. There are 2 ways to get Hermes running, and either way works. So once you reach landing page, you want to click on Docker Manager, and then you have a range of different Docker projects, as we can see here. Now you want to click on one-click deploy, and then you want to search for Hermes Agent. And as we can see here, select it, and then you usually have an admin username and password here as well. So make sure you hit deploy, and then now the Hermes Agent is deploying within your Hostinger VPS. This is the one-click deploy setup. Sometimes as well with this, there's also another option where on the landing page post-purchase, the Hermes template will already be pre-selected. So if that's the case, then you can literally click deploy immediately. But if not, then you'll have to go this way into the Docker Manager, search for Hermes Agent, and then add it in as well. But both ways are very easy and very simple to set up. It's literally a matter of a few clicks and you're ready to go. And as we can see here, it's finished deploying. So you want to click on open just to make sure that it's all running properly. And then you'll get to this point where you have to enter your sign-in details. And as we can see here, we now have the terminal. And fantastic, we literally have the agent running and it's deployed and it's ready for us to set up. Okay, but before we continue, there's 2 keys that we need to get. Because before Hermes can think or talk, it needs an AI model API key for its brain, as well as a Telegram bot token so you can chat with the Hermes agent from anywhere. Now, I've been using Claude API directly. You can also use other tools like OpenRouter, as well as a bunch of different API models. So just pick the one that works best for you. OpenRouter can actually connect you with 200 plus models with 1 key. So in terms of cost efficiency, it's quite a good option as well. Okay, first you want to grab your API keys that you have. And then in Telegram, you want to put into the search, you want to look for bot father, and then select the one at the top with the blue verified check mark. Then you want to click start and type in menu, and then go into dash new bot, and then enter the name of the bots that you're going to write. So I'm going to put demo Hermes assistant. Then you want to add in a username. Username sometimes they might be already taken, so you want to try and add a username which you think will be accepted. And there we go. Now that we've got it, you want to select the token, copy it. You're now ready for the next step. Now that you've got the token, you then want to go back to Hostinger, paste and deploy. So you want to go back into the Hostinger setup screen and you want to click open. Make sure you enter the details that you have for the username and the password to access the AI agent terminal. And then when the terminal loads up, you then want to select quick setup and then just scroll down to the API that you're connecting with. Again, because we're using Claude, that's the one I'm going to select. And now you want to enter your API key that you have. So go into any kind of API wherever you store the keys and then collect them and then come back in here and just paste it in. And then you want to select the model that you want to go with, and then you want to set up the messaging as well, and then select Telegram, which is what we'll be using to talk to the Hermes agent. Now you want to go back into Telegram and then you want to search bot's father again, and then now within bot's father you then want to select a new bot and then just enter the name that you're going to have. So I'm going to write down demo Hermes agents, that's what I'm going to call it, and then select the username as well. Again, with usernames, make sure that it's something which hasn't been already taken. So this one, as we can see, everything's been set up and we now have the AI agent token. So now you want to launch a chat and look at that. We've got Hermes agent set up. So now we want to collect this and start talking to it. So as we can see here, it's literally having a conversation with us and it's telling us which AI model that we're connected with. And we now want to set up the Telegram as well. So we can connect this chat to Telegram. So whenever we're out and about or we're on our phone or whatever device, we always have access to this Hermes agent. So you want to wait a few seconds for it just to load everything and then just wait for it as it's going to help you pair with Telegram. And as we can see here, it's currently pairing. So again, it takes a few seconds to do, so just be patient and then just wait for it all to complete. As we can see, honestly, this setup is quite simple and straightforward. It's literally a case of clicking a few buttons to deploy, grabbing tokens and API keys, and then literally opening up the Hermes agent terminal and then pasting in the tokens and all the API keys, and then just waiting a couple of minutes for it to be set up. And that's the thing with Hostinger VPS. It makes everything super simple to do and straightforward to set up. Okay, so I want to go back into Telegram, and then you want to, again, click the link of the new bots that we have here. So it's the demo Hermes _ bot, and then click start. And then as we can see here, we have the Hermes pairing approved Telegram, right? So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go back into the Hostinger terminal and then paste this in. And then it should show user approved confirmation, hopefully. There we go, it's been approved. And then we're going to go back into Telegram, and then we now just want to double check it's all been set up. So now ask it, hey, can you check your and then environment and tell me what tools and skills you have available. And then hit enter, and then we'll see what it responds with. Hopefully the agent should respond with a 73 skills breakdown. Yep, it's loading up the skill list. This is looking good so far. Again, because there's quite a lot of skills that we're going to be able to access with Hermes agent, it will take a couple of seconds to load. But as we can see here, there we go. That's the different skills that we have so far with Hermes agents. As you can see, it's quite a big list, which is incredible because this is exactly what makes Hermes so powerful for us. Now we want to set this as our home. And now when it comes to Telegram pairing with Hermes, this is the environment. This is the place where you're going to communicate with it. All right, fantastic. Now that we've got the basics out of the way, let's start with our first automation, which I'm going to have and set as a daily news briefing. I'm going to ask Hermes for today's top AI and tech stories. Then I'm going to try and turn that same request into a cron job so it runs every morning automatically. Okay, so go back into Telegram, and then I'm going to ask it, can you search the web for the top 3 AI and tech stories? And then I'm going to ask it to also summarize each one as well that is found. And hit enter. So now the Hermes agent is going off, researching the internet, using its relevant skills, is delegating the tasks, and then is basically going to get all that information and bring it back to us as well. So this is super powerful. Again, with Hermes agent, there's so many different use cases that you can have. And with this example, I'm going to show you how we're then going to automate it, and then we're going to be able to have access to all this information on a daily basis. And there we go. Just like that, we've got the information back already. You can have a quick look through. Yep, it's all looking relevant. And then now I'm going to ask it, can you set up a daily job that sends me those every morning at 9 a.m. and hit enter. And hopefully, because we've got everything sorted out, this should confirm the recurring job is scheduled. It's created the cron job, which is great. And then just like that, we've literally confirmed that the automation has been set up. And just like that, that's honestly the core workflow we have here. You find a skill, test it once, and then turn it into a cron job. It's that simple once everything's been set up. But here's the feature that actually separates Hermes from everything else. When you ask Hermes to do something new, it doesn't just finish the task and forget it. It turns the experience into a skill. So the next time you ask for something similar, it reuses the skill instead of starting from scratch. For example, if you ask Hermes to research the 3 competitor websites and puts them into a comparison table, it will take a few seconds the first time. But let's say it's a few days later, you then want to ask it for the same research on 3 different competitors. The second run will be noticeably faster. And that's because it's built a skill for competitor research and just reused it. So over weeks and months, your agent becomes specialized to your workflow. So the tasks you do often get faster and sharper. No other AI agent does this out of the box. That's why Hermes is so powerful. And with the Hostinger VPS setup, you can have access to it in just a couple of clicks. Okay, so now I'm going to ask it to research Asana and Trello, as well as Jira. And I'm going to ask it to give me a comparison table. So we're going to give it a few seconds for it to do all of this. And again, the first time Hermes does a task for you, it's learning everything, building the skill files. So will be the longest time it will take to set this up. So as we can see here, we've got the comparison table. Fantastic. Now I'm going to ask it to do the same research, but instead for ClickUp, Notion, Asana, I'm going to ask it to show me the comparison table as well again. Now we're going to hopefully see it, and literally just like that, it's answered everything. So even though we've asked for completely different tools, it's been able to just bang it out just like that for you. Now imagine having to do all this manual research yourself, reading all those blog posts, articles, all of that. But with the Hermes AI agents, you can literally do this within seconds, quite frankly. But there's still a couple more things Hermes handles easily. Hermes can connect to multiple channels at once. So I can message it in Telegram and get answers that pull context from Slack convos I've had earlier. With the same AI agents, with the same memory, but access to different platforms. So you can see how more powerful this gets over time. And you can also give it persistent goals. For example, you can ask it to monitor competitors every morning or summarize website changes, whatever it is. Once it's set up, it runs forever and it gets more and more powerful because it's able to build skills. So for example here, I'm going to ask it to list all the cron jobs that we have. And it's going to show us the different jobs that we've set up. And as we can see here, these are the tasks that we've been set up right now, which again, just makes everything super easy. All right, so that's Hermes Agent running now on your own Hostinger VPS. Now it's always on, self-improving, and entirely your own infrastructure. And if you want your own Hermes Agent setup with zero setup, persistent memory, and total data privacy, use the link and code down below for an exclusive discount on the Hermes Agent VPS plan. Now, we do get a small referral fee, but it's at no extra cost to you, and it's what helps us keep creating free tutorials and videos exactly like this. So thanks a lot in advance. I'm Sen from AI Academy. Make sure to like and subscribe and check out this video.